Hi everyone, Vegas Film Critic here, Jeffrey K. Howard, here to review the new Marvel film Black Panther. And there's a lot to consider with this movie. Not only the subject matter, the mania that's sweeping the country for Black Panther, the actors, the making of, the symbolism, the controversy. I mean, I haven't seen a movie like this in a long time that's generated so much buzz and so much interest and so much controversy. It's crazy. It really is how one Marvel superhero film can just cause such attention. I mean, it's crazy. This is the movie that people have come up to me in the last 6 months and say, are you seeing Black Panther? I can't wait to see Black Panther. I mean, they were just totally excited about it. Everyone, everyone in America is going crazy for Black Panther. So I'm going to talk about the film, my initial reaction to it, address some of the controversy, also address what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. I'm doing a review, but there's a lot to consider in this movie. So first of all, it's Black Panther is about the mythical kingdom of Wakanda. And it's in, I guess it's Central Africa, and but it passes itself off as a third world country because they have advanced technology. They have advanced, transportation, and from this little plant called vibranium. And they've had it for centuries, but they've managed to kind of cloak themselves in the middle of Africa and kind of hide themselves to the world. I think a few people know about it. I'm not sure on that. So for centuries, they've been an isolationist. They don't tell anyone what's going on while the rest of the world just goes on its merry way. And so now there's a new king coming along, played by Chadwick Boseman, get his name right, T'Challa, and he's progressive. He wants to know, what's going on with this kingdom and what his responsibilities are, and also he's being chosen as Black Panther. And there is a challenge to him, played by Michael B. Jordan, who plays Killmonger. Now, he's got a revenge plot going on. This is a spoiler-free review. Just wanted to say that up front. He's got some sort of revenge going on with the kingdom, and also he wants to challenge T'Challa and be the ruler of Wakanda. So, what's unique about this film is that it's a standalone Marvel film, okay? Where maybe in the beginning of the film, not maybe, we're in the beginning, we're in London, and Andy Serkis plays this Claw character who wants to get the vibranium because it's got this unexplainable power, for weapons, for energy, for all these different things. And of course, when some of this stuff leaks out, very little, it's almost like kryptonite, right? Very little of it comes out and it goes on the open market, it can change the world. It can weaponize nations, it can provide endless energy sources, all kinds of things. So it's in great demand for the few people who know that it exists. So Andy Serkis is just phenomenal. He plays this really mean, bad guy who's out to make a profit from the vibranium. But other than being in London and these cool car chases at the beginning, we're pretty much always in Africa. We're always in Wakanda. So that really took me by surprise because I thought, this is not, I went in thinking it's a standard superhero film. We're going to have, cities being destroyed and these giant third action sequences like we see in every other film. But that was not the case. So I really had to change my thinking because, the movie was going to embark on a storyline and a way that you have never seen before. Now, first of all, the positives of the film, it's Afrocentric. It celebrates African culture, the costumes, the colors, the great civilization that it is, and it shows it in a positive light, which I think is great for African-American kids growing up now. They can identify with their own superhero. And I think that's great, because the entire movie, they talk about pride, they talk about all these different things. That's just all these positive images is coming out of it, which I think is what we need right now in a superhero film like that, that's targeting a specific audience, even though it crosses all boundaries. Superheroes cross everybody, okay? But it's something more specific for little African-American kids that can see that. I mean, you're going to see a lot of Black Panther costumes coming up this Halloween. And also what I like is the cast. It's primarily an all African-American cast. In fact, I should have wrote everybody down. Yeah, gosh, there's Forrest Whitaker, there's Angela Bassett, there's Michael B. Jordan, there's Chadwick Boseman. There's just the best and who's who of African-American actors are in this film. I think there's Martin Freeman and Andy Serkis are the only two Anglo characters in the film. But it shines. They have a chance to shine. Even though Forrest Whitaker, I don't know what happened to him. He was in the movie a little bit and then came back. He was gone for like an hour. I'm like, I wanted more Forrest Whitaker, man. He's just phenomenal in that. So not only is it an amazing kind of culture-rich movie, but also a great African-American cast. Now, some of the problems I had with it was that it was kind of dull. I know now I'm really nervous, not nervous, I should say, it's not the right word, is that this movie's it's trending so big on, on Fandango and on Rotten Tomatoes, trending at 98%, 100%. Every review's coming back glowing. It's done pre-ticket sales of $165 million. But remember, this is a movie, okay? This is, it was made by people, and there's things in it that, there's flaws and there's errors and there's, some of the plot doesn't work. So I'm not bashing the film whatsoever from any kind of cultural or any kind of standpoint. I'm doing it as a critic, as a movie itself, okay? This isn't the second coming, people, all right? So some of the problems I had was I thought it was just too slow at parts, okay? And what it does, it really concentrates on the tribes within the African nations, because here they have all this technology, and they're talking about, hey, why haven't you shared this technology with the rest of the world? Why haven't you helped your brother nations out who are living in poverty, And that's what Michael B. Jordan comes along. Killmonger says, hey, I'm going to change everything. We're not going to be isolationists. We're not going to be sitting here hoarding this technology for ourselves, And at times while watching the movie, I felt like it was on the planet of Wakanda, It's not being somewhere in our world. Does that make sense? Kind of like, Asgard or whatever. I felt like I was somewhere else that I wasn't. Well, you're saying you are, Jeff, you're in Wakanda. But I mean, I didn't feel like I was on Earth. Does that make sense? And also some of my criticisms is that some of the neighboring tribes, I'm going blank on his name, the guy who does the gorilla tribe. I mean, he was awesome. I know I should have wrote it down. But I don't understand why some of these advanced races are wearing animal skins. That doesn't make any sense. It's like we're in the 21st century. So some of these neighboring countries, if they have advanced technology and that, they should be, I don't know. I felt that was really kind of bizarre in some of the costume choices that for some of the neighboring tribes had. I didn't understand that whatsoever. Also, I want to address some of the controversy going on is that, it's not so much a controversy, but the movie deals with mature themes. So if you're bringing kids, it's going to deal with slavery. It's going to deal with colonialism. It's going to deal with all these adult subject matters, which I thought were, I mean, it's okay to do the background of Wakanda and then the history of all that, but I just thought that was kind of a serious subjects they covered in the movie. Also, some white shaming. I thought that Wakanda was above, the kind of the racist kind of comments, that some people are claiming. Like one of the characters calls Martin Freeman, oh, this white boy. And I just thought, wow, that's not what Wakanda would say, right? They're an advanced technology and they're an advanced race, right? But even though they have spies in the real world, they understand what's going on, in the rest of the world, even though they choose not to associate with it. So I just found that really kind of awkward. Just like in Spider-Man Homecoming, when one of the characters says, I'm not going in the Washington Monument because it was built by slaves. I'm just like, what? That made no sense whatsoever to make that kind of statement in that kind of film. So I just felt that some of the serious subject matter in there, while warranted with the characters and what they're trying to progress to and explain the backstory of these characters, I just don't know if a little kids can handle that kind of, it should be more mature audiences. So again, the special effects look amazing. The costumes look amazing. I also love Kendrick Lamar. It has some great music in the movie. Also, of course, there's Easter eggs, so make sure you stay through. Not one, but there's two in there. And also, one more thing I want to talk about was about the white shaming and with Ryan Coogler, who's the director of the film, also wrote it, who did Creed and also Fruitvale Station, just a brilliant director. And there was a great article in, I think it was the New York Times, talking about how African Americans are like identifying with Black Panther as their own and not wanting to share. Does that make sense? When superheroes don't have racial boundaries. Captain America is not just for white people. It's for black kids. It's for Latino kids. He's for America. He's for everybody. Superman, Truth, Justice, and the American Way. He is for everybody. Black Panther, all superheroes are for everybody. So Brian Coogler was quoted saying, I can't wait for this Halloween to find a white kid that's wearing the Black Panther costume. I'm taking a picture of that and that's going right up on my Instagram. And that's the right attitude. Okay, Black Panther is for everyone, but it celebrates the cultural advantages and also the history of the African nation, but in a comic book form. And also look for Stan Lee. Yes, he's got his cameo in there. So while what they say, I am mixed on the film because I thought parts of it at 2 hours and 15 minutes, there was parts of it that just really dragged along that it just didn't keep my interest. Okay, but it's no way what I'm saying it's one of the worst, Marvel films of all time, but I just don't think it's the greatest Marvel superhero film that everyone's going crazy for it. All right, so don't send me any hate mail. So make sure that when you see Black Panther, use discretion because it is violent. I mean, Killmonger shoots people and not Hollywood shoots people. I mean, there's some serious violence in this movie that really shocked me. Also, I don't know, but the ships that Wakanda uses, the bottom looks like a Norelco razor. That just drove me crazy. Is it me nitpicking? I'm sorry. But just every time the ships went overhead, I'm like, that looks like the razor I used this morning. So I thought that was kind of silly too. But look, I'm not trashing the film. I'm praising it for some parts. But overall, I think that Black Panther is going to be a cultural phenomenon. And I can't wait to see what happens when he shows up at the Avengers this summer. So Black Panther in theaters now. And you like my shirt? I mean, I went to Hot Topic, I went to Spencer's, and I found this at JCPenney. This was $10. Isn't that cool? So I'm in the spirit with Black Panther. All right. For more reviews and interviews, surf on over to my website at vegasfilmcritic.com. Also, check me out on iTunes. You can take my podcast along. And if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe, thumbs up, and share. And follow me on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm back on Snapchat. I'd love to know what you thought of Black Panther. I'm Jeffrey Howard in Las Vegas. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.